challenges in their life every day. Some of them are small, but some of them are big, massive issues that can make or break you. When you're a child, if you're lucky, you have your parents there to help and support you. When you become an adult, you have to learn to cope with these things on your own. But we can always support each other, no matter what you're doing right now, working, chilling, walking down the street, driving your car, whatever. Listen to my words and hopefully they'll give you some strength. Now I know you can do it, and I know I can do it too. So support me, and I'll support you. I'm not going down without a fight. I'm not going down without a fight. No way, no way. Now I'm not going down without a fight. Not going down without a fight in this life. I'm not going down without a fight. I'm not going down without a fight. No way, no way. Now I'm not going down without a fight. If I make myself I think I can reach the highest height. I'm not going down without a fight. I'm not going down without a fight. Now I'm not going down without a fight. I'm not going down without a fight. I'm not going down without a fight.
Good afternoon and welcome to Deadliest Catch Dungeon Cove Recap season premiere.
And with me, which you guys may not know her, but if you guys watch Tim's Weather Center News, she is a co-host for Tim's Weather Center News. But before we get started, we're going to be broadcasting in Dutch Harbor, Alaska. And you all might be thinking, well, the season's not in Dutch Harbor, Alaska. Well, you're right. It's in, help me out. Where is it?
It is in Newport, Oregon.
Now, for those of you wondering why Discovery decided to do a spin-off show, well, it's not really technically called a spin-off show. It's called a franchise from the original Deadliest Catch, so they extended the franchise. So, Miss S, talk about the difference between the Alaska crab and the
and this one.
And this one.
Dungeon Cove. Well, first of all, they're fishing for an entirely different crab. This is the Dungeness crab that inhabits the coast, the Pacific coast there of near Oregon, and it's kind of I believe they call it derby crab fishing. So they don't go by quotas. It's kind of like all you can catch
in a certain
amount of time. So it's kind of like the gates open and it's go time. So the more you catch, the more you make.
And exactly. And for those of you that don't know, that with the original Deadliest Catch, it started as derby days as well.
Very interesting.
So now talk about the crab pots, because you know there's some people that don't even watch the show because they like the regular show better, like me.
The big, huge crab baskets versus a pot. The pot actually is small. I think it's less than, 2 feet round. That's the pots that they use for the Dungeness, and there's thousands of them. It seems like the boat, depending on your boat, you can stack a lot of those crab pots. So it's faster paced, I think, and catch while you can.
Not only that, there's no cranes. Why? Because it's all lifting. And I tell you, there's actually 2 people that used to be on the original Deadliest Catch, but they are on the new Deadliest Catch called Deadliest Catch Dungeon Cove. By the way, you can catch that every Tuesday at
9 o'clock or 9, yes.
9 o'clock. But hey, I got some awesome good news. The original Deadliest Catch is coming back for their 13th season.
Yes.
And I'm super excited because I'm sorry to say this, that's a lot better than Deadliest Catch Daytona.
Well, you know, I agree with you that starting to watch this Dungeon Cove, you know, it had a totally different feel to it. You know, not as intense at the start, but I think I'm going to give it some time to see what happens.
Exactly, and I'm going to give it some time too. But the big difference is, you know, they're not spending as much time on one boat.
Yes.
They're jumping from boat to boat like every 2 minutes.
You know, I noticed that in the first episode last night, we saw just some rivalries between two boats, father, son, and then another father-son set, and each one had their own boats. And so just a little, they started it off with that family rivalry between those two families. So seeing where that ends up and how that continues should be interesting.
And now we're going to talk to you guys about one of the newer boats on there. It's called?
The Galway Bay.
And now talk about the Galway Bay, Miss S.
You know what? You mentioned that two of the fishermen from Deadliest Catch are on this show, and this Galway Bay boat is their boat. I believe that's the boat that they are captain. They are running. So,
and if you guys saw a week prior to that, they had to turn that boat into that crab boat. It was a shrimp boat.
That's right. It was a shrimp boat, and they knew what they were doing and turned it into a crab boat. So,
well,
be interesting.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about last night's episode because it was okay.
Yeah, it was good. You know, again, it started out, we learned a little bit about what is Dungeness crab fishing. So a little different, and sounds like when they go out to fish for the crab, they put their pots down, and literally they go back the same day and pull them back up because they come in every night.
Oh,
they come in.
And talk, sorry to interrupt, but talk about how close they are to their family.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
You see, which is kind of nice. They see their families practically every night or every, other night kind of thing, depending on how long they stay out. But it's kind of like a regular job, maybe. They just go out to work early in the morning and then they come back late at night sometimes. So a lot more family interaction. I think maybe we'll get to know some of the families. So we'll see how this develops.
And if you think about it, if a boat goes down, the family's watching, which is crazy.
That's kind of scary. That one section where if you watch the show, it's literally a nail biter. It's called the bar, and the boats have to pass through this section of water every time they go out and every time they come back.
Do you remember how they pretty much taught us what the bar is?
If I remember correctly, it's kind of like the man-made section that gets you from the port out into the ocean, and the way the waves come underneath and from the sides, it can be very dangerous.
Yeah, because when they leave the bars, they're out in the Pacific.
Yeah, and the way the jetty is set up, it's dangerous to say the least. So,
but the Galway, they sent the crab pots, the little crab pots.
Yes.
And now they're pulling up the crab pots. And you will have to wait till next week's episode to find out what they have.
That's right.
Ms. S, go ahead and talk about this. Tell them about this boat first.
One of the first boats we saw is the Excalibur, and it's Chris is the captain, and I believe he's one of the sons from, the dad.
Exactly.
And again, they're just setting up their pots, kind of a rivalry. He has a brother, too, that's on a different boat, but again, they're family. And they threw out some crab pots, and I don't think they had a lot of luck last night.
Let them know this week.
Yeah, and they have two boats, and when they put their pots down, they came up pretty empty. So again, I'm not sure the name of it's the Excalibur, and I think it's the Winona J is the other boat the other brother runs. So again, they have two boats in the family.
And Chris is the one that runs
the Excalibur.
Yes.
Yes. The Redeemer. The Redeemer.
The Redeemer calls his dad. They also have two boats. They set the pots, and they found the crab. They went back to town and they offloaded the crab, and then they went home. What did they do after that?
It was late at night, and I know that was when, I forget his first name, but when he was captaining the Redeemer, he was the one trying to cross the bar at the very end of the night with his crab to get home, and it was dangerous. So.
The Western Breeze, Miss S.
The Western Breeze. You might have to refresh my memory. That one, I'm not sure who the captain was, but he also called his dad. They have two boats. Okay, he's the other son. father-son set, and they set that he threw out his pots, and I believe he got lucky. He found crab.
Yes.
And they went back to town successfully to offload.
And went home.
Yeah, got to go home.
Let's talk about the Coast Guard, because the Coast Guard does the crazy thing of throughout the whole entire United States of America. They have the most dangerous job besides the other military, but
right.
The Coast Guard has the most dangerous one.
And we saw a little bit of it last night as far as how they try to guide these boats home across this dangerous stretch of water. It was literally just watching it and watching those waves and seeing, again, the Coast Guard escorting these boats home safe just tells you the level of danger that is out there.
And what I learned is the captain said, the Coast Guard just tells you what the waves are doing.
Yeah.
They don't tell you to go or stay.
That's right. I was waiting like, go, stay, wait. And I thought, oh boy, I agree with you.
But if the Coast Guard would say, because they know how dangerous is it,
right?
Go now.
Go now. Yeah.
Or not go.
Or stay, But it sounded that one captain seemed to know what he was doing. And again, you'd have to know what you're doing to be out there. So
before we continue, what else do you want to talk about that happened in that show?
Well, again, it was new. They start, if you did watch, you do know, kind of a season spoiler, that there are some deaths that happen in this show. And you see kind of, you fast forward to probably the end of the season where you see there is a shipwreck. And I won't give you any more information because we don't know a whole lot, but we know watching this season, we are probably going to see a shipwreck. So that's very sad. But reality, they seem to say, hey, this is reality when you're doing this kind of crab fishing, that you will have casualties. So very sad to learn of that, especially because we'll watch the show all season and get to know these guys and their families and get to like them, and then possibly not have them with us next season. So yeah.
I can't quite find them on Discovery, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Yeah. But again, Miss S, I think you'll be here for the whole season.
I am eager to watch that whole season.
And you able to be here next week?
I should be here depending on my schedule at work, but I think I'm going to try to clear a little spot here for it.
All right, just keep me posted. And now we got some other things to do. So to get a hold of us, we have a new phone number. Miss S, tell them.
It is 480-427-0216. Call or text and leave a message so we can get back to you.
On the next Deadliest Catch Takeover Recap, live on YouTube on September 20th.
That's right.
Before we go, we want to say a couple more things, because we've had some comments, and it's good that me and Miss S address this now, because people, we want to hear your feedback, but we don't want you to tell us how bad it is.
Yeah. We have no room in our world for downers.
No.
Keep that to yourself.
And just be awfully nice, please, because otherwise we will have to block you and report you to Facebook. But please like us on Facebook. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And more information, go to, for more information. Oh, I didn't put that in there. More information, go to our website at
www.timsweathercenternewsaz.com.
And Miss S, final words.
Yes, looking forward to a good season. Check out the show Tuesday nights, Discovery Channel, 9 o'clock.
And check out Deadliest Catch Recap the next day at 2:30 p.m.